What's up? What's up? Haha. It's been a little while. Took the holidays off. I hope everybody is having an amazing new year, good holiday season, Christmas, and all that. Exciting times that we are living in. And, a lot of stuff going on. So we're going to jump right in, guys. All right. So the first thing is all of a sudden, everybody is getting so bearish, right? So I got my bear sweater on today. Everybody's getting bearish, right? And what does bearish mean, right? That's when people think that, things are going down, right? They think that, the world is ending, the market's going to crash. That's all I keep seeing on Twitter, all these explanations, right? Bitcoin took a little dip yesterday, went from 102 down to like 91. Guys, we're still in a bull market. I believe that thoroughly. I do believe that a lot of things, are being exposed for what they are, which are no longer good investments, right? So the last 3 years, a lot of the data we've been fed has been proven to be wrong, proven to be false. So the things that I'm into, I think are doing just as well. So I kind of show you some examples, right? Like you go on Twitter, everyone's saying market's going to crash, market's going to crash. 1929, the Great Depression is back right here, right? The treasuries, listen, there are some problems in our economy without a doubt, right? And a lot of things that were covered up the last few years are coming to the light. The Fed cannot control inflation. We've talked about that several times on this channel, but I think the comparisons to 1929 are unfair, right? And when you look at, these people, they post these charts and they show these correlations and the data. Guys, let's take a second, right? 1929 was a totally different world than today, all right? 1929, the stock market did not have the liquidity that it has today. Today we have every week people are buying in their paychecks with their 401ks, S&P 500, NASDAQ, all these different funds and ETFs that pumps the market up. So I can go down a whole rabbit hole on that. But I think a lot of the companies in the S&P 500 are in trouble. Don't get it twisted, right? But the things that I'm into, the things I talk about all this time on this channel, I think are in great shape, okay? What is one of the things we talk about a lot on this channel, right? And there is a lot of volatility in what I invest in, right? And there's a saying, right? Volatility is vitality, right? That's what they say. So let's talk about Bitcoin, okay? What are the tea leaves showing for Bitcoin? Well, right now, there are 5 states that have legislation to introduce a strategic Bitcoin reserve, okay? Pennsylvania, Ohio, Texas, North Dakota, and our friends nearby, New Hampshire, okay? So what is a Bitcoin strategic reserve? That is where these states realizing that the money that they're holding, right, the value of their assets are depleting because of inflation, money printing, and debt, the 3 things that I talk about all the time. They're like, hey, look, let's hold Bitcoin on our balance sheet and protect our buying power as a state, right? Like this is bullish for Bitcoin, okay? We have a guy getting inaugurated in basically 10 days. So expect a lot of choppiness the next 10 days. But this guy who's getting inaugurated for the presidency, his whole cabinet is pro-Bitcoin. So I said this before the election. I made a video about how I'm betting the election, right? Where I was betting Tesla and Bitcoin depending on who got elected. I did not see the bullishness as much as it would be with Trump getting in. So nothing has changed in that regard. So all this like bearishness of the world's going to end, the market's crashing, I don't believe in any of that, man. At least not for the things that I'm into. You know what I mean? I think if you're in some podunk company that's saddled with debt and you're investing in them because, I don't know, something you saw on Twitter, yeah, that's probably not a good investment, right? But I think if the thesis hasn't changed with AI and Bitcoin, without a doubt, has not changed, okay? I think that's overblown. I think, fear sells, fear gets clicks, people go with it. I'm a perma bull. So, I don't believe in that. All right. So another thing I've been thinking about too, is the insurance companies, right? I think that is a market that is ripe for disruption. And when you think about like all these tragedies that have been happening, and so if you're an insurance company, and it kind of goes back to my other thesis with Bitcoin, right? If you're an insurance company, you have agreed to take on a certain amount of risk, right? That's what you're doing. You're covering people's risk. So you have agreed to take on this much risk. You have to have in reserve a lot more than that in dry powder to cover your risk, right? In money. So how do insurance companies store their reserves, right? They store it in government bonds, corporate bonds, the things that are melting away and losing value that we talk about all the time on this channel. So what happens? You have a year like we just had with those hurricanes in Florida, North Carolina, Tennessee, the tragedies happening in California right now. I mean, that's $50 billion plus worth of damage. So what happens, right? Those houses are inflating, right? Because, real estate is an asset. It does inflate and it protects your buying power. So the value of the houses are going up. The reserves to cover those losses are in dollars that are going down. Eventually we reach a tipping point. So the insurance industry, I think, is ripe for disruption. Now, who's going to disrupt the insurance industry and offer a better product so they could have a strategic Bitcoin reserve, but they can't own Bitcoin because of regulations. They have to own certain assets that are fixed income. So, one of the companies I talk about a lot, MicroStrategy, has found a way, I think, to utilize Bitcoin, create bonds that are backed by Bitcoin, bonds, right? That insurance companies, other entities that can only buy fixed income could hold on their balance sheet. And this is a huge disruptive market, right? So again, my bullish thesis for Bitcoin has not changed. No matter what the daily charts tell you, zoom out and look at all the things happening around us. All right, so all this bearishness is not going to happen. So very interesting. If you kind of go into this a little bit and see what he's doing, he's basically offering a Bitcoin kind of bond, right? So MicroStrategy is a company. They're a tech company. They've been around for a long time. But in 2020, they started buying Bitcoin and putting it on a balance sheet. They were one of the first major companies to have a Bitcoin strategic reserve, like all these states are talking about, the governments are talking about, stuff like that. So they have almost 500,000 Bitcoin, 400 something thousand. So now what do you do with that? How do you monetize that? How do you create value for your shareholders? That's one of the things he's doing. Very fascinating stuff. Google it. It's very misunderstood, but I think it could disrupt and kind of change the insurance industry. And I think long term, I think it makes it better for us because our rates are going up so much because insurance companies are getting smoked, and it's an unsustainable business model. You're insuring assets that are appreciating rapidly in value and your bankroll is rapidly depreciating at the opposite, the same exact rate, just in the opposite way, right? So, and that's why rates are so high. They have to make it back somehow. We're the ones paying for that. So hopefully this can help and they can figure it out. All right. And finally, Tesla. All right. I'm very bullish on Tesla, guys. And look what came out yesterday. The new redesigned Model Y. Okay. Model Y is the #1 selling car in the world, guys. #1 selling car. It's an electric car. You can say whatever you want about whatever you want. The numbers don't lie, it sells. And they redesigned it. It came out in China, right? First, it'll be in the US, I would imagine soon. But very nice looking car. I love the design language now. They got, the light going across the front, the Cybertruck, Cybercab kind of look. Very nice looking car. They took the #1 selling car in the world and they just made it better. I like this new blue color too. Pretty cool, right? But it's just nice looking car. So it's a, here it is, couple shots, interior shots. Very nice. They made it a little more upscale, made some changes, just improved on it. Like little small things. I love the back. So look at the back. I love that light bar. So everyone's saying they hate the Cybertruck. And I said when it came out, I said the design language will filter through to other car companies. Has anyone seen Hyundai lately? All right. They're all driving around with these light bars on them. Total ripoff of the Cybertruck. All right, so that's what happens though. Just like the Chrysler 300 in 2005 when it came out, everybody hated the high belt line on the doors, and yet everybody copied it. All right, and finally, the last thing about Tesla too, Elon came out 2 days ago saying basically, look, they're going to make 50,000 bots in 2026 and 10x that in 2027. This is a great video. If you look up this guy on Twitter, Herbert Ong, great Tesla insight. If you're interested in investing in Tesla, there's a lot of videos you can watch where these guys get in the weeds and really get down and dirty and do price projections and look at what they're doing, what the business is and the future holds. And, this bot thing, I'm telling you, this is the future of Tesla. The cars are cool. They're awesome cars. I mean, look, that's a dope car. I love it. But, I don't invest in Tesla because it's a car company. I invest in Tesla because it's AI and robotics. And this right here, the Optimus bots, it's just amazing, man. This is like world changing, like insane. And, Elon's talking about 50,000 next year and 10x in that the year after. And I watched this video these guys made about this. And, they kind of get into the economics of it and then the engineering of the bots and how easy it is compared to cars and a lot of overlap. It's not unfounded to do that, and the AI is there, the technology is there. Tesla has a moat with AI. So, all this bearishness that everyone's talking about, all this, the market's going to crash and everyone's sharing their charts and they're trying to tell you that, look at, this is the charts I'm seeing all day, right? Black Monday, the lost decade. Yes, there is some, volatility in markets. I think the overall economy is not in good condition. I'm not saying like we're rosy. We are not. There are a lot of problems with our economy. I think there's a lot of things that are going to happen very soon in the next administration that will make that better. But nothing has changed in my thesis on my Bitcoin and Tesla thesis, right? So that's it, guys. All right. So I got the bear sweater on today in to make fun of the bearishness. No, to acknowledge it, right? But I'm still bullish. I'm still bullish, man. So a lot of great things happening. Expect a little choppiness the next 10 days, and then let's see if the guy can deliver, right? I think he can this time. I think he's got a good team around him. And, I think we all benefit, no matter where you stand on whatever. It doesn't matter anymore. It's all about growth and improvement. All right, guys, have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks.